ABC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Constance Carter. What's happening, everybody? I'm live. Oh, I forgot to put on my earrings, y'all. I'm out here ratchet. I see all of you guys coming in, and as you come in, make sure you make yourself at home. And I just want to tell you that you are tuning in to the Fly Nubian Queen and Constance Carter. Now, I know that we have people who tune in from all over the world. So as you come in, please introduce yourself, because, you know, as every time I come in, this is a dialogue and not a monologue. I want you to talk back to me and talk black to me. Okay. So put in where you're watching from, wherever you're watching from in the world, and make sure two things: you subscribe to the Fly Nubian Queen's YouTube page, and that you also subscribe to Constance Carter. I am Constance Carter on YouTube. All right. And follow me YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Now, I wanted to have a conversation because I don't know if you guys have been watching the Olympic Games, and it's been really fascinating. It's been awesome. And a lot of great things happening with Team USA, a lot of Black girl magic happening. However, so Simone Biles and what's her name? And Jordan Chiles, they bowed down to the Rebeca Andrade on the Olympics. Rebeca Andrade had won the gold medal, and so they bowed down to her, which was actually, it was quite endearing. And I thought it was amazing. You see all these three queens, is Black girl magic going on. The silver and the bronze medalists are bowing down to the gold medalists. It is I think it's one of the most iconic pictures since the Olympics in the 70s, where the two brothers had put up their fists. What do you guys think? I think it was an extremely iconic moment. Some people actually hated it. I think there was a football player that said it was absolutely disgusting. And then Michelle Obama came back and said she thought it was a beautiful thing, and it showed, just great sportsmanship. But before we really get into the discussion, and I'm seeing the comments already, before we get into this discussion, I want to bring two of my girls. What's up, Yvonne from St. Paul, Minnesota? Is that how y'all say it? St. Paul, Minnesota. I want to bring two of my queens, my girlfriends, up here. Oh yeah, okay. Thank you, TNG. That was the 68. Thank you. We got a history buff up in here. Thank you. I want to bring in Dee McCann. She is an attorney, but she's also a movie writer, script writer, right? You're a screenwriter?
Screenwriter and a author.
A screenwriter, author, and an attorney in the Washington, D.C. area. So if you need a screenwriter, an author, or an attorney, what type of attorney are you, Dee?
Personal injury, family, and contract.
Okay, if you get into an accident, you need some contracts read, or you going through a divorce or some domestic situations, call Miss Dee McCann, okay?
That's right.
And then we got our girl April Sampay. What's happening, April? April Sampay is, you know what? Hold on real quick. While y'all in here, I gotta do something. She gonna be mad at me. Where you at, April?
I'm mad at you. We not? Hi, everybody.
No, we're going to do it. Let me oh, Dee, you don't even know. Let me show you this.
When this girl singing, you can't match me sound. Melanin popping, so kissing it round. They say I'm oh, baby, don't say. Oh, mama, say what should I do? Get down to the beat, go fast, and all I want.
Surprise!
I
She
like
does do
that.
and she don't, did he?
I like that.
Yeah. See, she needs no introduction. That's how I need to just introduce her every time she comes in the door, baby.
Well, she is making it so that I will not be coming in the door anytime
You
soon.
will always come in the door with me. Yes. So thank you, you guys. This is April is, she needs no introduction. In any case, I want to talk about this whole gesture or this idea of Black unity and Black women, and I thought it was a beautiful moment for Black women, just to show solidarity. What are your thoughts, April? What do you think?
I think that it's something that we do on a regular basis, but we don't get credit for. And that's the part that kind of angers me. I mean, if you really think about it, even though it angers me that you always post that video, you're still showing me nothing but love. And I think that the fact that sisters honor each other on a regular basis, just about every day. I mean, there's like one person in the chat right now, Angela Washington. She's somebody who always deserves love, and I always want to make sure she gets it. Just in general, I think that it's amazing to see Black women bow down to Black women. It's something that doesn't get shown enough, but it happens every single day.
Amen. What do you think, Dee Dee? What do you think about that?
I'm still trying to figure out what was the problem with it. I mean, it seems like it's something that we should be doing, honoring. I mean, I don't know if they thought bowing down was somehow diminishing their worth, but somebody else's shine is not going to stop my shine. And so
Right.
I can honor my sister. I can be proud of my and am proud of my sisters and all of their accomplishments, and that doesn't take it away anything from me. So I was glad to see it. I mean, I thought it was wonderful, and I'm trying to figure out what the problem is.
But the media always portrays us in this negative light. They rather see us fighting, they rather see us bickering, they rather see us spitting on each other than to be positive. And when you go across, in different countries, they automatically think if you are a Black American, they automatically think, the worst of you just because of what's being portrayed in the media. They want to see us like this. They want to see us fighting all the damn time. But that's not the reality for the good majority of us, but that is what is portrayed. Why do you think that is?
I will say, in all seriousness, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it wasn't America, right? I think that that's pretty much the biggest reason. What was it? Because she's in Belize. She's from Belize, right?
No, the Olympics were in Paris, but she was the winner. What was she from? Rebeca Andrade? Huh? Brazil. Did you say Brazil?
I said Belize. You know why I said Belize? Simone has a dual citizenship in Belize. But so she's from Brazil. Why can't we show love to another country? We give money to other countries all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we please give credit where credit is due?
Yeah.
If somebody else is winning, give them their flowers.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure that if old girl was winning, if Simone was winning, Andretti would have bowed down just the same.
But do you think it's because it was them bowing down to a Brazilian, or do you think that they just don't want to see us bow down? Period. Like, what is the problem, and what's the real problem with Black women celebrating each other?
I don't see anything wrong with it. Like I said, it happens every day. I'll walk, in a mall or in a store, and I'll see someone who's absolutely gorgeous, and I'll make sure that they know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Why not?
Right.
And why not show love? Because it's infectious. You don't know what kind of day that person was having.
Right.
So she just worked her behind off. She deserved it. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Dee Dee.
I'm sorry. I also think it's also the way that the media tries to portray Black people in general, because I remember I was teaching a class at Montgomery College, and it was during the time of Katrina, Hurricane Katrina, and I showed the students two different articles. One article was an article of a Black man, woman with a cart with groceries in the cart, and pushing the groceries from the cart, with the water. Basically, the store had been gone into and gotten food and had it in the cart. Then another one was with a white couple who had it. The title under the Black couple was Black. They didn't even say Black. people looting the store. It said something about looting the store, and the one under the white couple said something about residents finds food during the hurricane. So and so we're doing the exact same thing, but it's how we're portrayed, and they rather portray us in general and women in particular, in a negative light, and so when we are portrayed in a positive light, they have to try to find something wrong with that.
Go ahead, Abe.
Well, and I wholeheartedly agree with it. I've spoken to a lot of people who have come into this country, like, brand new from other countries. And they will tell me what they see on television, what they grew up watching.
Yep.
What they grew up watching was us being niggas, us being, whatever, just the absolute worst. And I'm just like, but that's not, did you ever see the Cosby Show? They're like, what's that?
See.
Did you ever see, any of the shows that came on even after?
Right.
And
that's not our norm. So, and that's what bothers me. I don't know people who behave like this, or every time they refer to us as, lower income, lower, our communities are trash communities. And I don't know that to be true, but that is a brainwashing that I know that has been happening for many, many, many years since the inception of this country. They have to do this, but you got to wonder why they do it. I think they do it because we're a powerful, powerful people. And the only way that you can continue to keep us oppressed is by social engineering, is by continuing to brainwash and to continue to put that narrative out there. And they are very intentional about the narrative that they put out there. When you look at shows like Basketball Wives, let's look at this clip really quick, because this is how they portray Black women all the time in reality shows.
Because I want to. I stand up too, though. What you can do? I can stand up too. That's what it is. Bitch, and you out of you are. If you ain't ready to do a life stand up and leave. She feels. Oh, really? You're an embarrassment to our family circle. You have nothing to do with this. I'm gonna call her every time I want to. She's with my son. Right. Stop calling her. Idiot. You need to be mad at your esthetician, you ugly ass.
I used to watch these kind of shows a while ago, and they used to stress me the hell out. And I was just like, oh God, I would be so anxious afterwards. But why do they show this as opposed
because
to
we accept it?
Okay.
It's just that simple. I think that that's what we watch, that's what we want, right? And also, I'm going to change the subject just for a second, but I promise you I'm going somewhere with it. As it relates to like music, if you go to a radio station and you're like, play this song, if it's not ratchet enough, they will not play it because they're like, oh, that's not what we want. That's not the truth. The people who are listening to music or watching these shows, they want to watch feel-good shows. So if you have the Grizzlies, and this is perfect. If you have Basketball Wives versus the Grizzlies, have you all seen the Grizzlies? No? Okay. Have you seen?
I know they went to jail, right? They went to jail.
Yeah, I have.
Both parents went to jail. Both parents are in prison for tax fraud, as well as some type of embezzlement. Okay, they're in jail. But then you have shows like The Housewives, where 50% at least of the cast has a higher education, multiple degrees, and a few, I think 2 have master's degrees. And I'm sitting here like, why is it that the ones that are highly educated are being looked at as if they're less than, but the ones who are going to prison are being celebrated? I'll give you another Housewives of Atlanta versus Housewives of New Jersey. Giudice went to prison and actually hit Andy Cohen. And it was, and she's still on the show. You have Nene, who pushed a man for trying to go into her closet when she clearly told him not to go into her closet, and she got put off the show at the time just for an episode. So she got money taken away from her. Miss Giudice got additional money, and they held off filming the show until she got back out of prison. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. What do you think from your perspective, Dee Dee?
I think that part of it is just like in movies. I mean, and records, sex sales, video sex sales. So the ratchetness sells, and that's the reason why they portray it. But what it does, it perpetuates it. If because I got to be more ratchet than the next person. I got to, in order to have a storyline, I have to be more ratchet. And they like that. And it's funny because it's something that I have, I am purposeful about in my movie writing, my script writing, because I want to tell our stories in our own words. It's seen through our own eyes. And I want to have, there's a certain type of not to say that my movies are going to be devoid of reality, because some of that is real. Some people do live like that. And especially as an attorney, I was a defense attorney before I started doing family law, and my husband still does defense work. So there is some ratchetness out there, and and that's part of the reality, but that's a small part of the story.
Right.
And so we need a bigger narrative to show the whole of our community, not just the ratchet part of our community, but because they want us to behave this way, and they like us behaving this way. What I learned in my study of film making, at one time, the only thing that Black people were on movies were entertainers or as slaves or help. And they even when they had Dorothy Dandridge and Josephine Baker on some of those shows where they would be entertaining or playing parts that was not in it as an entertainer, they would take those, when they go to the Deep South, they would take those parts of the movie out and show the movie without those parts of the movie because of racism. Yes, because they wanted us all to be only seen as entertainers or the help. And so so it's so that's part of what drives me in wanting to write movies too, that I want to tell our stories and tell us, and show us in all our glory, and we're multifaceted. We're not just one dimensional. And I think that all of our parts need to be shown. But of course, the powers to be want to show us in these negative ways. And I have great girlfriends, really good girlfriends, that I've traveled with, that I've known since I've been in elementary school, some that I've known since I moved to DC, 20 some years ago, 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. And we don't do any of that. We don't, and not that we don't have disagreements, but we never get physical. We never cuss each other out.
What grown-ups do in real life.
Yeah, I was going to say that part right there, because that never happens in real life. And your girlfriends are going to stop that from happening. So if there's a group of you, at least somebody's going to pull somebody else away and make sure that just does not happen, no matter how mad you get. That's not real life. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's real life in high school. That's about as far as it goes.
Right.
So it's frustrating. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I hear what you're saying, Dee Dee, about that's what sells, but I think it's more of what they want to portray of us.
Oh, yes.
Because I think if they, remember when the Cosby Show was out? Like, we loved that. Like, we never before, because all you seen in the 70s was Black exploitation movies. You seen, Shaft, Superfly, all them, Jackie Brown, was that Foxy Brown, all of those shows back in the 70s where they was jive turkeys and they was, talking that shit, and they was doing all of those things. And then, this is what we were used to. And you had the mammies, and you had the slaves, and then you had the Cosby Show. And then when you had the Cosby Show, it was like, that ain't real life. That it is for some people. We are not all mammies, and we ain't all pimps and hoes, but that's how Hollywood portrays us. And that's the thing that makes me so upset, is that we don't control what's being distributed out there. The powers that be, and I think they work overtime in portraying us in a way that is detrimental to who we are as a people. And so we have to be so vigilant, I think, about what we want, what we request. I think that we need to start demanding, or when people do put positive things out there, we need to support that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. There was a young white girl who just started her first real job. I don't know if you saw the post, and she was crying about it. She said she was crying because she said there's this black girl that when I first started, we started the same position doing the same things, and she excelled, far surpassed the white girl. And she didn't understand why. She said she would go to work. She didn't understand why she always looked so put together. She always knew her stuff. She always turned everything in on time. She said it just didn't make sense why she was always winning. And she said then it hit her. Her whole life, she watched movies. And in movies, no matter how high the position in the movie, no matter if they were the actual main character, they were always in a supportive position. So she said, it wasn't supposed to be like this. She was supposed to be in the supportive role. I'm the main character. She said that. She's like, I'm grateful that I actually could see that. And I knew then that I'm not always going to be the main character. And I think that that's where you get your quote unquote Karens from, and your people who expect
the entitlement.
But it's not that. So I don't get mad when people feel that way. I just don't.
Because people know better. People know better.
But if you listen to this,
I don't give nobody no goddamn passes because they know better. People know how to treat people. People then grown. They've been living this good and grown life. And me and April will argue all day because she gives them people too many passes and I don't, because people know the hell better. So they have not been isolated. Yeah, you might see that on TV, but you got black people that you grew up in your classes. You've been around some black folks. You're not that isolated. You're not on a farm, and these are people that deal with black people every day. Stop giving these mother effer passes. But hold on, let me just show you really quick. I wanted to show you this video I just thought about with Tank, and I thought it was so profound what he said. I'm going to share my screen.
Our violence isn't the threat. Our love is. Our family separated. It's fine. It's perfect. The man staying with his family and raising his kids and pouring into his woman, that's the threat. That's why R&B takes such a back seat, because we're not promoting the aesthetic that continues to perpetuate the stereotype. You guys are killers. You guys are animals. You guys are savages. That's when you're at your best. So that's what we're going to reward. Those are the guys who get the $100 million deals. Those are the guys who fill up the arenas and stadiums and talk that shit. We love when you talk that shit. Love? We're cool. We're cool. We don't own conglomerates.
What y'all think about that? The powers that be. It goes back to the powers that be, right? Doesn't that go back to the powers that be that have control over what we see every single day? It's them.
Wait, here's my question though, because I agree. I agree that it's what we see every day, and you say don't give a pass. Fine. The part that I don't understand is that the same when you see little black kids, or not even little black kids, I'm sorry, black young adults who are supposed to be on their own, let's say in their early 20s, who look at themselves and say, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'm that bitch, I'm why, and that's how they see themselves, right? And they see themselves for the same reason that little white girl saw us, because that is
programming.
Right. So you're telling me that it's right or wrong. Why is it okay?
I don't think it's okay. I think them little badass baby kids know better too. They know better.
Are you going to give them? You're not going to go to them and be like, "Hey, little young black kid, let's talk about this."
I would. Hey, queen, you a queen. You ain't no bitch.
And so you know what I would do to that little white girl? I'd go to her and say, "Hey, queen, I am a queen. Let me make this very, very, very clear. If you can't see who I am, if you can't see what I am, then you need to learn how to bow down, because I'm always going to be on top." Okay. So that's just that's how I look at it. I have no problem with educating anyone. I don't care what color you are.
You give too many passes.
I don't care about educating anyone. I will always educate someone about how big my crown is. Always.
You give too many passes.
That's a pass. I think that it's education, and everybody deserves to know that I'm great.
Yeah, okay. What do you think, Didi? What about what Tank said about how the powers that be, they're going to push out the negative narrative all the time. You see it on Basketball Wives. You see it on ATL Housewives. You know, what are your thoughts about that?
I agree with it. I agree that they push out that narrative. But I also agree that it sells. There's an appetite for it. And that's the reason
they don't push anything else, Didi.
I'm not saying the reason behind it, but what I'm saying is
think if they show something positive, I think positivity would sell too. But they don't even put it on the thing for it to sell. They ain't gonna put the marketing into it, the money, nothing.
I agree with you as to what their motive is, so that we can continue to be portrayed this, so we can be seen this way, and so they feel better about themselves, probably even. But again, you asked me, why do they do it? And I think they do it because it sells. And not to say that I think the money is the biggest thing, to be honest with you. I think money is the biggest thing. But I also believe that almost as equal is the fact that they want us, they like us to be portrayed in as less than. And I talked about, when I say it's about how they only portrayed us as slaves and entertainers, but back then it was, that's what people wanted to see. People feel good about themselves some people feel good about themselves if they can make somebody else feel lower than they feel, that they're lording over that person, or make the other person. And for Black people, the powers to be have always wanted to put us in a subservient position. And so if people can see us, if they see us as ratchet, or see us that then we're something less than, we're some less than human, or we're less educated, we're all of those, everything negative that they want to attach to us, that's what they want to do. And so that's what they do. But again, like you said, one of you guys said something about, well, when we see something positive, why don't we support that? But we have to support the things, the positive shows, the positive things that come on, that we see, rather than the negative stuff. And because I think that if you hit them in the pocket, if it didn't sell, I think that they wouldn't continue to do it if it didn't sell.
Drama sell. Do you remember in the 80s when all the shows was, you have a dilemma and then there's a happy ending, and that sold too? But they stopped for at least for Black people. But I love what Diane Boyd said. She said there's a whole dominating system of oppression, indoctrination through our educational system that forces this negative inferiority when it comes to our youth. Enough is enough. And I think that is absolutely unequivocally 100% true. In 1955, J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to America is Negro unity.
Educated Black man too.
Yes, that is the biggest threat. That's the reason why when we were on the plantation, they would not allow us to have a book. They didn't want us to know nothing. They wanted to keep us dumbed down. And it's a cycle that has continued to over the course of this country. This is what they do. And you know what? The bad thing is we fall for it hook, line, and sinker. And we just have to be more cognizant, I think, of what we're watching, what we're giving our time and our attention to, because you're not going to make a whole lot of money. You're not going to build wealth. You're not going to get rich looking at that shit all day. I used to watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. Right. When it first came out, I used to watch it. Then it started, and it was about, 3 couples, and they were investing in real estate in Huntsville. That was the premise. It always starts that way. Remember R&B divas? Yeah, that started, it was supposed to be positive. R&B divas coming together and everybody is good. And it always ends up to be something pretty ratchet. And so it got, it started getting ratchet again. And I stopped watching. So my girlfriend sends me this clip, and it was an amazing clip. And it was Marceau. He was talking to Martell's brother about just, being responsible, taking care of his family, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, yo, okay, this is what they talking about. Cause I hadn't seen like 2 or 2 seasons probably. I'm like, this is what they talking about now? All right, let me go ahead and get caught up. So I started watching, and I was like, when is this part coming on? Because this is stressing me the out. This was stressing me the hell out because I wanted to get to that because that's what I thought. Okay, maybe the show has turned into that because I think men need accountability, women need accountability. We don't need to be just fuck you, bitch. We don't need that. We need to be, built up and hold you responsible for your actions and talk about the things that are going to help us to grow. I think Didi, if you wrote a show that was like that, man, I think you would be a freaking trillionaire.
Well, I'm gonna try, and I have to make a confession. I do watch some ratchet TV,
okay,
because I have a very serious life, business life.
Right.
Sometimes
that's your guilty pleasure.
I don't want to be thinking about anything serious, but I do, I do hear you on that, and I had not thought about doing any reality TV or anything like that, but television series. I started on a television series, and it is very positive. It's positive that there's but it has a underlying message about racism or discrimination, but not only coming from the outside, but coming from the inside too, and always offering in each episode. I want to deliver messages of that people can take away from that and basically be like, okay, well, maybe I look at myself and maybe I am a little racist or judgmental against my own race too, so that people will enlighten people so that they can start looking at different ways. Like I talk this episode that's going to be about school choices and how we see certain schools as being better than maybe a Black or Afrocentric school. And even if they're equal, my mother used to say that they had a saying when she was growing up in Alabama, in Cordova, Alabama, in the South, and she said they used to say that the white man's ice colder than the Black man's.
I remember that saying too.
So, and that sometimes we
that was our thought. That was our thought because that was indoctrinated in us.
Yeah. And we think that way, and I do think it's important that we give positive, because in every movie that I've written so far, and I've only had one that I've actually produced, but on all my scripts, in every script, no matter what the storyline is about, in every one of them, there's positive Black people that are educated, that are doing something. There's, like I said, it's well-rounded. There might be some that's got some other stuff in it. One of them don't have anybody in any negative, like any Black people in any negative light. But even the ones that have some negative parts of it, the overall majority of the players in these roles are positive and educated, or if not educated, enlightened.
And I think that we need all of those various types of people because we're multidimensional. We're not just all negative, but we're not all positive either. And so you got to show what real life looks like. But real life is not what we see with these ratchet bitches right here.
Because I want to. I can stand up too, though. What you can do? I can stand up too. That's what it is.
Nobody acts like that in real life. Nobody. And so if you're just tuning in, you are watching Conversations with Constance and the Fly Nubian Queen. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the Fly Nubian Queens, subscribe to Constance Carter everywhere on social media. On YouTube, I am Constance Carter, on Facebook and on Instagram. What were we going to say, April?
Well, okay, since we're talking about Constance Carter, I have more, but I just wanted to put it out there.
Listen, I'll put the video on. Cut it out. Since
we're giving flowers, y'all make sure y'all get these. And I'm putting that out there because some of y'all broke. And if you are, she has a book for it. And some of y'all have bad credit. And if you do,
broke and bad credit.
She also has a workbook for all of you who need that extra special help. So just make sure that if you need that push, okay, just go buy some stuff.
You see this?
Oh, see, look at God.
It's coming.
Look at God. So so make sure, again, if you are broke or you have bad credit, I don't remember what I was about to say. I just want to make sure I gave you your flowers because you deserve them.
Well,
Even though
we're
I
talking about
disagree with
Simone
90%
Biles.
of the things that you say.
We're talking about Simone Biles and Jordan Chiles bowing down to Rebeca Andrade at the Olympics, and some people had some really negative things to say. Why would they do that? But let's look at what Simone had to say and why she did it. Let's look at it.
For Simone and Jordan, there was quite a moment that's going a bit viral on social media when Rebecca gets the gold, and you two decide to show your respect. It was quite moving. Talked to some Brazilian people who were quite moved by it.
Yeah.
What gave you the idea? Was it just spontaneous? And tell us what you did.
No, she's so amazing. She's queen. And first, it was an all-black podium, so that was super exciting for us. But then Jordan was like, should we bow to her? And I was like, absolutely. So we're like, are we going to do it now? And then that's why we did it. But she's such an excitement to watch. And then all the fans in the crowd always cheering for her. So it was just the right thing to do. She's queen.
Yeah,
she's so good.
to go off of what she was saying, you know, she's an icon, a legend herself. So I feel like being recognized is what everybody should do when it comes to somebody who's put in the work, put in the dedication. So yeah, in that moment, I was like, you know what? First off, again, yes, it was an all-black podium. Second off, why don't we just give her flowers? She's given, you know, not only has she given Simone her flowers, but a lot of us in the United States our flowers as well. So giving it back is what makes it so beautiful. So I felt like it was needed.
I'm telling you, that's what I see more than anything. I don't see that other shit. I see that.
I love that.
What are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with people who are doing that, or are you surrounding yourself with the basketball wives? You know, what do you guys think, Didi? What do you think we can do to kind of cultivate an environment like that? Just because the powers that be are going to be the powers that be. They're going to portray what they do. What can we do to insulate ourselves and to make sure that we're keeping it positive?
I think that we can, just in our own daily lives, when we see somebody see another sister, you know, another Black person, compliment them on whatever it is that, you know, if they do a good job, or if they look nice today, or if, you know, find something. You can always find something positive to say about somebody else, because sometimes that's just what that person needs, and that sometimes that person will pass it on and do something, say something nice to somebody else, or and start making that commonplace, making that just a second nature, that oh, hey, you look nice today, you know, or that was, or even sometimes somebody says something that's a really good idea. I really like that. Or just giving somebody their flowers, or just complimenting them on a day-to-day basis, so much to the point that it's just second nature, that, you know, that you do it, you know, and because a lot of times we think so, we'll look at somebody and we'll be like, oh, I really like that. But you say it to yourself. You don't ever say it to the person. You know, they never hear it. But if they looking ratchet or something, you giving them a look or whatever, you don't got to say nothing, because they can read it all over your face, you know. So if we make that more commonplace, then I think that you know, and then surround yourself with positive people. That's the other thing, because
how do people do that if they not around, if their everyday life is around negative people? Like if they
remove yourself,
they can be the light. They be the light to the negative, to the darkness. They start with the compliments, and you know, when you're around something so often enough, it'll catch on.
That's true. What do you think, April? What do you think about what can we do as Black women to, you know, be more intentional about how we show up with each other?
I actually agree with everything that Didi said, but I'll add one more piece. When you see your sister struggling, or when you see your sister doing wrong, you don't have to call them out in front of everybody. It's very simple. Can you meet me in the ladies' room real quick? Can we have a talk? Can you meet me outside? Can we have a conversation? Cash me outside. Do you mind if maybe we catch up and have lunch or a cup of coffee? It's very simple to be able to tell a sister, listen, that wasn't it. You know what I mean? Because that's also needed. I think that what we do is we celebrate. I feel that we celebrate each other a lot, right? And I think that is needed, and that's something that we should be doing. But I'll also add that everybody does not deserve a trophy. So do not give flowers where flowers are not due, because then people will always expect flowers. And I think that when it's time to correct someone, you don't have to correct them in front of everyone. Unfortunately, that's what society is telling us, that you need to call people out in front of the whole entire world. If they didn't do it in front of the whole entire world doesn't need to know it. So that's pretty much where I stand.
Man, listen, you spoke a word. Go ahead, Didi.
Can I add something to this? When she said that, it made me think of a situation and where I was reluctant to act, but I did. I was in court, and we were in family court, and we were in the hallway, and it was a child support case, and the mother was there with the child, and the father was there, and she was talking about him, and all loud in the hallway, and you nigga, you ain't this, you ain't shit, you don't do this, what. And after she finished, I kind of waited, and I started not to say nothing because I could easily got cussed out.
Right.
Easily got cussed out because her temperature was elevated. It was a heated situation. She wasn't having it. But after a minute, after she got through talking, I said, "Excuse me," and I pulled her to the side. I said, "Let me just say this." She said, "I said I don't mean no harm." I said, "But don't do this in front of your child." I said, "Your child is watching you, and he might not be doing what he's supposed to do, but don't do this in front of your child." And in that situation, I was more concerned. I was concerned about her and how she looked and how she's portraying us, but I was more concerned about the child, because the child is looking at this, and the children live what they learn. And surprisingly enough, she was very receptive to it, and she was like, and she still was mad, but she was like, she didn't get loud with me. She didn't say anything smart. She didn't tell me to mind my business, which if she did, I would have had to take it.
Yeah.
I had to mind my own business and said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean no harm. I just want to, just tell you this. But I was very delicate the way I approached her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I said something to her, and I know that's not going to always work, in certain situations, but it did work in that particular situation.
And that reminds me too, just being, if it's ever on your heart, and you don't know this is a God thing, but if it's ever, and you don't even know it's a God thing, God speaking to you, but if it's ever on your heart to just speak into someone's life, or just to tap them on the shoulder and say something positive, you don't know how you can change their lives. Just a little gesture goes a long way. And it's so funny because when I walk in a room, sometimes people will think that like I'm a certain way, like I'm stuck up or something. And I don't know why, because I'm the most down to earth, a little rough around the edges.
She's stuck up, y'all. I'm joking.
I'm a little rough around the edges, but but I love people, and I don't be paying attention. And I used to be with my assistant, and she'd be like, "Girl, did you see her me mugging you?" Or I used to be with my ex-husband. He'd be like, "Did you see the way she looked at you?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't. I didn't know, because I don't notice that type of thing, because I'm like, why are they looking at me? I ain't nobody." But I always try to make an effort to smile at people if I'm not in my head or my phone doing something. But I try to, if I'm there and I'm being present, or it's just speaking to somebody. April, when I'm with you, you always giving people compliments. "Hey, beautiful, how are you? Look at you. Oh, I love them shoes. That's you don't know what that does. But even like just calling somebody and saying, "Hey, I was thinking about you. Have you, it goes a long way." I mentioned to my girls that my cousin, I hadn't talked to her in, I don't talk to her in years. We were really, really close, and I hadn't talked to her in years. And her mom just called me out the blue. And her mom was like, did I thank you for what you did for my mama's funeral? Her mama's funeral was like 2016. I was like, probably, because I used to do all that stuff for everybody's funeral. And she said, "Oh, okay." So then we start talking, and I'm saying like, and so she told me about her daughter, which I was super close with. And she said, you should call her. And so I called her, and just that conversation, it was transformational for her. And I didn't even know what she had been going through. Life was lifing. But just the thought of calling somebody and being an encouragement, just a little bit, it'll go a long way. You don't know. So if you get that tap on the shoulder to, reach out to somebody or call somebody or say something to somebody in a positive way, it can do wonders. We are not like them basketball wives or them housewives. People don't act like that in real life. We are really a beautiful, powerful people. they want to continue this narrative because they want to keep us oppressed and they want to keep us infighting because so that they can stay empowered and they can have an excuse to say, see, those are animals. That's the reason why we shot them, because they didn't comply. That's the reason why we did what they did, is because we know that they're animals anyway. They were gonna, because I know that's how those people act. That's really not how we act.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And to your point, we do more for each other than not. And I think that the next generation, I think that that's what we need to really be focusing on, right? The next generation of aunties.
You're right.
Because I think that the next generation of aunties is constantly seeing things like your basketball wives and things of that nature, and they really need to see us. They need to see what real women do on a consistent basis. They really need to see that real sisters grind, right? And as we're grinding, we're lifting each other up. So, I look at, and I'm sorry, Dee, you and I haven't really formed a relationship just yet, so we won't have to. But Madam Constance Carter is a very good friend of mine. And I know that on my lowest days, I can pick up the phone and just be like, I'm having a bad day. And she'll just be like, all right, let's lift you up. We're not going to have that. I have a lot of good girlfriends. Oh, speaking of, I'm sorry, I have to give her a really quick shout out. Happy birthday, Jermaine. Another great girlfriend who will always lift you up on your worst day or your best day. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't have to be a bad day. It could just be a day. And it's like, how can I make your life better or pour into you? And even if you were wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong, but I'm going to tell you in a way that lifts you up, as opposed to tell you you're completely wrong or you're a completely screwed up individual and kick you while you're down. Yeah. I think that that's what television and social media is teaching us, to tear each other down and kick each other while we're down. And that's not real life.
Yeah. Y'all, we're not this.
We're not that.
We are not this. But here's I love what Sunny Hostin said.
And so I think people are afraid because Black women are the most educated demographic in this country. Black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party, and Black women know how to organize. And they are organizing and galvanizing behind Kamala Harris, and that is scaring the heck out of people. But what I will say to people is, stop with the she didn't earn it. Stop with the she is not qualified. Because as a Black woman, to have held the positions that she has held, you have to be twice as good to get half as far.
Boom. So, I know that's not what we were talking about, the political piece of it, but the reality is we are the most educated. The reality is we are the ones that are out there starting businesses a lot more than everybody else, but yet they don't portray that in social media. They don't portray that in the media, period. And that's very problematic. So what are you doing, April?
Before we talk about what I'm doing, because you said you talked about building businesses, and I just wanted to put it out there while you said that don't you have a Net 7 class coming up?
I do, actually. Yeah, we do have a Net 7 class. This is a
great opportunity. You start talking about businesses, and there are a lot of women who are watching. What do we have? We have quite a few women watching right now, and I think they need to know about how to grow their business.
Well, thank you. No, seriously, that's what I'm doing in this world. I have a super duper passion for Black women. We are the fastest growing business owners. We are the most educated. We are making moves out there in the world. And so my goal and my mission is to help Black women to be able to increase their net worth to 7 figures. And so I created something that I needed, which was a sisterhood. Somebody say sisterhood, a sisterhood of women that are doing the same thing, that are all like-minded, that are all who just want financial freedom. And they want just overall freedom, because wealth is a holistic experience. It's not just about the money, but it's what you do in your everyday habits and how to really create sustainable wealth. So I have a cohort getting ready to start on August the 20th. Woo-hoo! And actually, Dee is in this cohort coming up, which I'm super excited about. Dee is going to bring the funk and the heat. But it's cool. It's so cool because you've already gotten a glimpse just of how we are just by the alumni and the encouragement and, kind of what's come out of there. So I'm excited about it. And so we have one more spot. If anybody is interested, you can go to Book with Constance.
Just one?
Just one more spot. Yep. We got one more spot. I actually have, am I meeting somebody tomorrow? I'm not sure. But one more spot for this cohort. So go to bookwithconstance.com to schedule an appointment with me. And I would love to talk to you to see if you would be a good for the program.
Wait, can you make space for 3 more?
Huh?
Can you make space for 3 more people?
Got 3 more? You got 3 more people?
I'm just saying. I'm
got
on
one.
here today. I'm sure that there are 3 more. So I'm just asking for a friend.
We could talk about it.
All
Have
right.
them call me. Everybody's not a good fit. So, I mean, we could talk and if you're a good fit, it'll be great. But everybody ain't a good fit. So, but thank you, April. I appreciate that.
It's a great program. I was a part of it. I was a part of cohort 2.
And so was Tanya.
Hey. We are in the building.
Yes.
It was a wonderful experience. It was a wonderful sisterhood. These are women that I will never, ever, ever forget. No matter where I am, no matter, I'm pretty sure that wherever I am, if I pick up the phone and say, hey, I need you, I'm sure that they would be like, how can I help?
Right.
I know that's got to be true, because just on the group me, if anytime somebody says something, I see the support. And I'm new here, and I'm looking. Somebody says something, and you have all these different women chiming in with solutions or encouragement. It's just a wonderful thing. I mean, it's a really, really positive thing. I cannot wait to start, and I'm loving what I'm
y'all, Vic, you're gonna make me cry.
Yeah,
I love it.
Ladies,
women supporting women.
Anyone who's watching, I will say, if you are able to, at least do your best to try, because it's worth it, and it will also help you grow your money and not blow your money.
Yes. Thank you, darling. So actually, you know what? We at about 50 minutes. I want you to give some last words. Like, what are your thoughts about what you can do? No, before we do that, I want you to tell me about maybe how you insulate yourself and some of the things that you do, some of the habits you created to make sure that you're around positive people.
Didi?
I will say that I'm at an age now where actually I never was, because I was always raised around family. I've had a lot of family, female family, male family around me when I was younger. So I never had that codependency where I had to be liked, or I have to, take a whole lot of stuff from people so that, just to be around them or to be a part of the it crowd. That's never been me. But I think that I told my daughter when she went to high school, because she had went from 2 years old up until the 8th grade, she went to school with a lot of the same people. And then when she went to high school, she went, a lot of them just went their little separate ways and stuff like that. I told her, I said, when you go to school, one thing I want you to know is this, you're going to meet people who do a whole lot of crazy stuff that you wouldn't normally do. You're going to meet some people that are way too square for you or whatever. Neither one of those are not your people. But when you find people that are, kind of like on the same vibe as you, they might go do a little bit more than you, or they might be a little bit more reserved than you, or they might be spot on with you. Those are your people. Know who your people, know who you are, and then find your people and be with your people. And hopefully you're not the ratchet person.
Then there's that.
Ratchet, you find somebody who's less ratchet. But for me, because I've been pretty level-headed all along, that's where I insulated myself. And you know what? And I understand that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I'm good with, if the season has passed, letting that relationship go. Yeah. Because I'm on a different trajectory. I'm on a trajectory that's going to take me higher, and that's positive. And I'm not going to be around negativity. To me, life is too short, and and I don't care if it's long. That's even worse if it's long and you're around, negativity. I'm all about being around people that are positive and surrounding myself, and trying to also look at myself and make sure, check myself. If I get, negative, or if I'm that person that, might not be in the right headspace, check myself daily and make sure that I surround myself and be a mirror to the things that I would like to receive in my life.
Amen. Yeah, that's good word. What about you, April? What do you do?
The one thing that I focus on is not being around like-minded people, but definitely like energied people, right? I don't like-minded people because if you're like-minded, then I'm not learning anything. I think every time I'm around people that don't necessarily think like me, I learn something else. Even if I don't agree with what they're saying, it still causes me to think differently or to do more research,
Yeah.
right? But energy is something that I need to consistently be positive, or not necessarily positive. You have to just be vibrating on a high level,
Yeah.
right? If because we don't always have the best days,
Yeah.
but if you're around somebody who vibrates high, it will cause you to vibrate high. You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that what we need to do is start celebrating people's differences, start celebrating the fact that those two ladies bowing down shows that they respect what somebody else was able to do, even though at that moment they weren't able to.
I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I hear from a lot of the women who are in our cohorts is that they're the ones in their circle that is the most ambitious, and there's nobody in their area that has what they have or who are motivated, and they just need to be around more positive people. And I would say do your best to reach out to people and maybe try to get around some positive people, because if you're around three rich people, the chances are you're going to be the fourth. Dr. Frazier once said, if you're around three hoes, the chances is you're going to be the fourth hoe. It's just, birds of a feather flock together. It's just, if you are around like-minded people, or like energy people, but if you're around people who are going the same way and people who want the same things, and you gotta step outside your box. You gotta start showing up. You gotta start going to places where those people are. They may not be in your neighborhood, but they may be at a conference. That's what I did for years. I went to conferences and met people who had what I had, because it wasn't in my immediate circle. I had to step out, being part of the program like the Net 7 Collective, and these ladies are from all over the country, but now you have a family of women who are all going the same direction. So try to find a mentor, try to get somebody that can kind of help motivate and show you a different way. You never want to be the biggest fish in the pond. It's so funny, because when I was in California, I was like the big fish in my area, but the big fish can only grow so much. Now I'm the small fish. So I was in the area, and I was making some dough, and it was great, but it was like I can only grow so far. Now I'm the poorest one in my neighborhood, and I think it's so dope. And everybody in my neighborhood, mostly everybody, is Black, and most of them are doing better than me. And I think it's a beautiful thing, because it gives me something to aspire to. I love that. I love seeing that positivity, and I love seeing that energy. It's very inspiring and very motivating. That's how we need to be. We shouldn't be looking at anybody envious. Yeah, I ain't got the McLaren, I ain't got the Lamborghini, but it sure is nice that I can go outside and see it in somebody else's driveway. That's dope. That's definitely aspiration.
Motivation. Yeah.
Yes, it's motivational. So I think that's what we have to do as Black people, because a lot of people say, "Oh, we crabs in the barrel." I don't believe that. I don't subscribe to it. I think that we are better together. We're stronger together. There's that African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you have to go together. And it's harder to reach those goals alone. You need other people. So you guys try to get around people that can help and serve you, so that you can get to where you need to go. If this ain't it, get with somebody who can. I want to give you a moment to give your last words, and then where can they find you? Like, how can they follow you? What are you doing in the world, and how can they follow you? And then I'm gonna start with you, Didi. Okay.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram at DEE_WRITES. That's Didi_Wright, or on the THE McCann, MEACHERN LAWFIRM, the McCann Law Firm. My parting words is just that, basically reiterating the things that have already been said. I'll say this: just always try to find something positive about somebody, even if they are not in their most positive, acting in their most positive light. If you encourage them, something good about them, then maybe they will tend to want to manifest that even more. If you see a light in somebody, and you say, even when they're not being their light is. I mean, I like when I was talking to the girl who had who was talking about her child's father. Maybe something that I said to her she'll took away from that maybe she will, even if she got to continue to be negative to them, maybe not do it around their child. So you can always find something positive about somebody.
At minimum, there was a seed planted,
Mm-hmm.
April.
You can find me everywhere at APRIL.
Word.
SAMPE. Y'all saying that?
APRIL. SAMPE.
Talk about me tomorrow. Not today, y'all. First of all, real quick, I'm gonna last words. Make sure you all get one of Constance's books. This is not it. She also has workbooks. She has ebooks. She has more books coming out. I'm telling you, she's all that in 17 bags of chips. As it relates to me, my last words: start getting comfortable being uncomfortable. We are always looking for things to be easy, and the easier they are, the less you will grow. They call these things smartphones. They're smartphones. They actually dumb you down. I don't know if you all remember, and you all won't remember because I don't even remember, but back in the day, if you watched like I Love Lucy, I watched all those shows on Nick at Night. They used to say, "Oh, that's smart." Smart at one time meant pain. It was a sharp, blunt pain. And it's funny because they call those things smartphones. What exactly does that mean? It is not making you any smarter. It is actually causing you more pain than anything else. And so what we need to start doing is focusing on things that are not as easy. We need to read more as opposed to listening to a book. Actually read the words to know how to spell the words. We need to start getting in circles and environments that we would not normally be in, i.e. the Net 7. And I'm saying that because I went into the group thinking, oh Lord, this is going to be another rah-rah video. This is going to be a rah-rah event. It's going to be boring. It's going to be this, that, and the third. But it was actually very uplifting. And I allowed myself to be in an environment that I wasn't accustomed to. And so I think that that's where I would start if I were anybody listening. Start getting in environments that don't make you feel like you normally do. Not something that's going to cause you any pain, but something that is going to make you think and make you a better person.
Wow. And I'll end with this. I love what Colleen said. She said, vibrations are everything. We need to start with teaching our youth to love themselves and give them the skills to develop regardless of challenges based on self-worth, and teaching the youth the skill set, nervous system regulation, boundaries, etc. Self-worth, because you are here. Thank you, God, for everything. Ooh, that's powerful. Always grateful for the amazing people that have been sent to me. Constance Carter, facts, environment, healthy lifestyle, safety, diet, exercise. That was a good word, Colleen. Thank you for tuning in, you guys. And for me, you can find me everywhere. I am Constance Carter. And if you are interested in joining the Net 7 Collective, or I just partnered with Dr. Boyce Watkins, we put together a real estate school, Net 7 Collective right here, a real estate school that we have a 12-month real estate school where you will be, I'm trying to put it in here. Where you get 12 months with me and Dr. B, and we're going to teach you how to become a real estate investor. You're going to be actually picking up properties and purchasing them in this 12-month cohort. Go to b1realestatemmastery.com to sign up. We got a full class, and I'm excited about it. And but I'm always trying to do something to help pour into other people so that they can have transformational lives, because life is to be lived and lived abundantly. I appreciate you. Oh, go ahead, April.
When does that class start?
B1 Real Estate Mastery starts the 13th, August the 13th. And then Net 7, starts August the 20th. And I'm excited about both of them. I really am excited about both of them. Net 7 is my baby. Those are my girls that, it's definitely more intimate, but you're going to get value out of either one of them. It depends on what your goals are. So thank you for that, April. Ladies, you guys have been absolutely amazing. Thank you. Great, rich conversation. Black women, we got to unite. It's a beautiful thing.